Welcome back to the Money Making Mama Show. My name is Nancy Wallace-Laabs.
And I'm Kelcie Leka.
And we have a couple of announcements today that we want to share with our audience. I'm very excited. So It happens to be our 2-year anniversary for the Money Making Mamas as a company. And I guess now we're probably, I guess we'd be a year and a half into our podcast. I'm going to let Kelcie talk about the other big announcement.
Yeah, so it's exciting because we're really getting prepared and whatnot, but we're celebrating today, doing our 2 years. After this, we're going to go get a little glass of champagne and celebrate, just 2 years of Money Making Mamas, because that's, I think, one, working together as a mother and daughter is such a huge accomplishment, but then like our own small business is accomplishment.
And that we're still talking to one another.
And we're still talking, and we love each other still. But then the other exciting thing is, so by the time this airs, we'll have actually gotten back from our trip to Disney, which, if you know, we've been getting ready for that, and like we compared that readiness to real estate investing, and so that's a fun episode. So we've been getting so prepared for Disney, we've been getting so prepared for Money Making Mamas, and we've just been doing like all these fun things. So I actually can't wait so we leave 2 days from now. My kids' last day of school is tomorrow. We're gonna tell them, because toddlers, if you tell them, you're gonna hear it for like 5 days straight. We've also been doing like so much, not only to get prepared for this trip, but also just in general. Like last time we talked about pivoting in our episode of just how we've pivoted the past 2 years for Money Making Mamas. I really want that time to be present with the kids, and same with you guys and all that. And so I feel like we've been doing so much the past couple of weeks. And I say we, but also like you've been doing a lot of it, and I've been helping out as well. But I do feel like it's a testament of what we've been working towards this past 2 years. So we're kind of going to talk about the tech side of things today.
Yeah, which is, I'm not a techie person, but I feel like I have really learned a lot about tech.
One of our very first episodes, we talked about the making of this podcast and like how much went into it, and like just how stressful that was. And now we're sitting here and we're able to like plug and play almost.
Exactly, because you came over, we just sat down and boom.
So nice. And so I feel like the podcast alone, especially if you've seen our videos on YouTube, like how far we've come, and like the visual side of it.
I'll have to agree with you. So yeah, and I'm pretty excited because we also, when we talked about pivoting, we had to pivot our message, right? And then we're like, okay, we're posting about this, we're posting about that, and I'm like, okay. And then you were like, Mom, I can't, it's too much.
At one point we were doing 3 reels a day.
I know. And I was like, it's too much. And we weren't really making any money that way either. So we said, okay, we dialed back. And we said, okay, and we're not going to post on every channel anymore either. So, because we know where our people live. We know where our audience is.
So anyway, this past couple of weeks, so you kind of talk about what you've been doing, because you've been leading this charge for sure.
Oh my gosh, I'm so stoked because of what I've learned and how I've learned to use it. So one of the things when you're a small entrepreneur is time. You just never have enough. And I fortunately get up early in the mornings. I'm like, okay, I have a lot of quiet time. And so I'm actually able to at least do some planning. But I want to kind of get to this. The heart of it is that, so I made a decision in the second quarter of this year that I was going to start doing I wanted to really accelerate our YouTube channel, because a lot of people just want to digest information. And because of the nature of real estate investing, there's so many nuances to it. And when I say nuances, I mean like you don't have to learn everything right at once, because that's how I learned. I just learned one thing at a time and stacked it on. Well, so then I'm doing those long form videos, and I'm trying to do 2 a week. Well, then we were also trying to do all of this, other posting about other things. I'm like, no, we don't need to do that. So luckily, the software that we finally invested in, it does a great job of what I want to say, recording, but also editing. And then it makes magic.
Just like all these little like tools.
And some of them are AI and some of them are not. And then, but who even knew? And then there's, like just how to do it. So now I'm really excited because we could have hired a VA, right? But then if you hire somebody to do it, then you have to literally, it's almost more work because you have to do it anyway to tell them what to do.
We did a VA for a month, and I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I know, again, I'm not the greatest at social media, but there's so many people out there that are amazing at it. but I felt like I could tell a difference and I didn't like what they were putting out. And so it's ultimately never going to, when you have to like hire, and that's not necessarily a control freak situation. It's just more of like, I know what I want to put out and it's like quality and I can do better.
And they don't know the nuances of your business or your
Yes.
voice or your brand. And even
I think it helps with like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It helps with like more mundane tasks,
Yes.
not necessarily building your business.
Because, a VA doesn't know when you can pivot.
Yeah.
And we've even tried the social media manager situation, and that didn't work out either. And so we're like, okay, well, this is because then you have to manage that person or that process, and it was taking a lot too much time. So anyway, so we invested in some techware, some applications or whatnot that can help us then take these long form and it chops it up into, clips. And then from that, sometimes we'll use AI to help us with the writing of it, polish or whatnot. And then we said, okay, we're going to have these 3 elements that we're going to, offer. And then we made it very simple. But then it wasn't even just the tech side of it. It was okay, how are you going to organize it? Because if you start doing a lot of videos, like we were like, okay, how can we keep track of this?
Yeah.
Right. And because right now in the queue, I think we have like 4 videos that I've recorded, but now they have to be edited.
Right.
They have to be blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then who knew there was a thing about thumbnails?
Yeah.
I mean, I know, but the first one I did, it took me like 5 hours to figure out how to do it, and how to, because
There's a science to it.
There is a science to it. And who knew that? I follow a couple of YouTube people that teach you different things about YouTube. None of them talked about that because I think that's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Because you can have the best video about whatever, but if nobody clicks on it, it don't matter. Different types of thumbnails.
Yeah.
Some of them are like kind of funky. Some of them are like, but I would love people to give us feedback on the ones that we wanted or didn't want or whatever. But, you kind of supposed to act a little goofy, or there was a whole science on how to learn. Now that I know it, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
And I wish I would have known that. Like, I know people that are paying thousands. I almost did myself. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pay this guy to coach me on how to grow my not my thumbnails, how to grow our YouTube channel. And I just, I got introduced to the thumbnail science, and I was like, okay, he does not even talk about that.
Can we really quick talk about what you told me the other day? AI is a great tool, and like when it's used correctly and appropriately. You were telling me that people are selling these AI prompts for your business for like $200, like basically 200 prompts for $200, whatever it is. And it's wild because you told me this. And I was cracking up because I went home and told Zach, and he was like, yeah, that's actually so smart. But you instead of don't spend your money on these prompts as a business owner. Just go to AI, whatever platform you want to use, whether it's Gemini, Claude, whatever it is, and say, hey, I need some prompts for X, Y, and Z, and it'll spit you out those.
What you do is you go into your whatever AI platform you want, and you say, create me a prompt that will blah, blah, blah to get blah, blah, blah results. And you ask AI to create your prompt.
Yeah, and it's so smart.
Yeah, and you can give it a little bit of, like a little background about who you are or whatnot. But yeah, I did that. But anyway, yeah, so there's a guy, he's selling prompts for like $8,000.
And it's wild because it's
and that's all they're doing. They're going in and saying, create these prompts.
And it's that piece of information where I feel like I would be so thankful if I came across this as a business owner, because it's like, okay, $8,000, what can you put that towards? Am I going to do prompts for social media, or am I going to do like actual, like where this could, or keep it in my pocket in general?
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's like that piece of information that I don't love that people out there are like basically
keeping to themselves.
Yeah. And it's like,
or they're trying to monetize it, right? And so,
because even then, like, I know we've had people help us, and and it's like at the end of the day, one thing that I have heard constantly about us, and I am going to brag about you and me, and like, we just want to help people at the end of the day. And like, yeah, it's great to make a buck or two, but I just feel like when people talk to us, they know it's not our end goal. And I feel like people that we've talked to, like, they almost leave you on a cliffhanger of like, and I get it, it's for them to sell their crap too, but it's like, okay, help out a little bit. Like, stop trying to sell me your thing every 5 freaking seconds.
yeah, but we hired someone to like help us, and so we paid them and had these calls. I have Firefly AI, which is, if you don't have that, that's a great tool too. It takes notes. I was using that when we were having our person, trying to help us. And I took the notes and then I ran it back through, our AI person. Okay, this is the questions I had at the beginning. And then how did I miss not getting this? And then it would spit it out and say, okay, this is what you need to do next time. And so I would do that. And it's like, so we finally just said, this isn't working for us because we're not, so it gives you good feedback. Like if it's almost like, for in that particular case, I was like, something doesn't feel right here.
It feels like insurance.
Yes. If you know how to use it right.
If you know how to use it right. Because in that particular case, like ultimately at the end of the day, like we hired this person and they helped us for X amount of times. But then the goal was for us to ultimately get them, or their goal was to get us in this long-term program. It was
which
always,
we weren't interested in.
Which we weren't interested in. We had made that very clear, but it just didn't matter how much. And it was always like, yeah, just this cliffhanger at the end. And like finally, like I think we met because we met the first time and I will say that was a positive call. Then the second time we met, and I remember you and me met after it, like without the person. And I was thankful that we had that conversation because I was like, this just isn't sitting right. And I don't like any of the information that we received. In your gut,
be authentic.
If you know and be authentic, and like there's all these AI stuff out there and people are using $200 X amount of or $8,000 for X amount of prompts, but just be authentic. And
yes,
I don't know,
because you don't have to do that. And so I think what kind of circling back that but I think what I like about what I do with the real estate investing, because I see it as problem solving. 90% of the people I work with are in a distressed situation. They either financial, divorce, somebody passed away, right? They are evictions. It's not like, oh, hey, my house is on the market and I'm so happy I get to go and buy another house. It's always distress. And I've just kind of fallen into that niche and I love it because I feel like it kind of feeds my soul. Kind of my mantra has been lately when I've been coaching other people is like lead with empathy first, your wallet second. Because if you lead with empathy and you're in doing what we're doing, we get referrals all the time. You get referrals because people remember that, we're not the most, let's see, there's a ton of real estate investors out there. There's a ton of realtors out there, but I think what can set you apart is, how you treat people. And, and we've had people in our program and I'll just say, this is not a good fit because I want you at the end of the day to be satisfied. And I also want to feel joy helping you reach your goals of being an investor.
You know what I feel like that I don't appreciate? And this is because everything is turning to a pay as a service way. And it's like, and that is like, I don't like feeling that I have to be in something for a lifetime. And that's the vibe I was getting with that certain situation. Whereas I feel like with us and like other people, I even talk to like friends that are in different industries and same thing. They say surround yourself with people that are alike. And I don't necessarily I have a girlfriend that she's a hairstylist. She gets compliments all the time about her hair, but it's always the experience and like going to her place and like it feels so comfortable and relaxing and inviting and things like that. And you just don't want to feel you're in this subscription service all the time.
You want to feel at the end of the day, it's a real person. Well, it's kind of interesting because I saw a commercial of Chase Bank. I've been a Chase customer for years and years and years, and they're convenient, But the branch that's closest to our house, they don't have a drive-through window. And when you walk in, like they had, I don't know, a teller window, but they have one of those machines that either get the money or you give it. So it was like they were taking away the personal experience. Well, lo and behold, they had a commercial on last night about how they're greeting people just like Walmart greeters. And so I think that what is happening in the banking industry, because just my own personal opinion is that it's so automated and there's so many banks that you have to do something different to attract customers. And so I think that's what they're trying to do because it's not like they have the best of anything. So I think that when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's what they're doing. They're pivoting because there's only so many people that, are going to bank at Chase and or elsewhere.
And yes. And I know that we were talking about tech. And so we'll pivot back because we'll talk about what we've been doing and just kind of like the ways we've been using AI and different platforms and even the way that we've gone, because I have taken more of like a step back in this, not even in this, but more of like, I need you to send me exactly what you need me to do and I will do that. But you've really taken the reins on just how to use all the tools that we have to really streamline it.
I know. And so I have actually spent the last 48 hours going through every single one of our links, and we have one platform that hosts our website, our courses, everything. And, you know, in Instagram, for example, it says link in bio. And we're like, okay, we were constantly putting different links in there. And then I realized the platform that we use, I was like, I wonder if that has that in there. And I got the answer from AI.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, does this have the same function as a link tree? Link tree is what you can use to like put in a bunch of links, and it does.
Yeah.
So I created a landing page just for Instagram, for Money Making Mamas, for Nancy Wallace-Laabs, and it looks cool. And I was really proud of myself. So then I took that link, those 4 links, and then I went back through and I updated LinkedIn and Facebook. So we have one link, but it has everything that we have, all of our resources. Then I went back through all of our landing pages and what, you know, to make everything smoother. And so some of it was me just organizing it a little bit better, you know, all the way from the videos to, so I feel like now the message that we're evolving into, that we've been pivoting to now, is more concise, more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, okay, we don't have to create 50 million things to post about now.
Right.
We have like one thing that we have, you know, we'll do a video on, we'll do this. And so now it's like, and I think what I've seen is that's already slicing some time off. You know what I mean? Giving us some time back is what I'm saying. We used the tech. What I did there, just on the links alone, I know that was something you were doing daily practically.
Yeah. So I don't want to gatekeep because that's what we just talked about.
Okay.
And so and we've talked about some of the stuff that we use in the past, but some of the stuff that we've really started utilizing right now. So we use Kajabi for all of our like landing pages, like our website, our courses, everything. Like Kajabi is our main, that is our blood kind of thing.
It is our blood. It's our heart.
And then really we've started, you know, social media is just such a beast in general, but we're really starting just to hone in on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And we're doing, you know, long form and short form videos. We're not focusing on doing reels like all the time, and we're doing like carousels once a week, single image posts. We're just not stressing about that, and we're also not stressing about posting every single day.
And did you notice we started doing this about maybe 3 weeks ago, and our engagement has gone up, our followers, I mean, we still have, you know, we don't have like tens of thousands of followers, but
it's always quality versus quantity.
Well, that's what I was just getting ready to say. The followers that we have are ending up our customers. So I feel like in the last month we've attracted more quality followers than any time in the last 2 years.
Yeah. And then we use Canva, which a lot of people, and Canva's got some really cool new features. Our biggest one, we've talked about it before, but Vista Social. That's a platform that we have really found. We've tried Hootsuite, we've tried
Buffer,
and we've gone to a third party. We have tried a lot of different things. We've tried just scheduling within Instagram, scheduling within Meta, and it just was too much. And so Vista Social, I love it. I love the interface. I'm a big fan of good and quality, and I feel like a lot of millennials will know exactly what I'm talking about. It links right up to Canva, so you can do Canva stuff in Vista Social, which I really appreciate. And just overall, the platform is so easy. I think all of these things, and then we've started using Claude instead of ChatGPT.
Well, I'm going to go back to Vista Social real quick because I love the analytics. Every week I get a report, and I'm like, oh my gosh, 800%. And it measures engagement, followers, and it measures like your overall growth.
It also, I appreciate that it lets you respond back to anyone on any platform. So if we get something on like YouTube, okay, we can respond right there. If we get something on Instagram, like we can respond right there.
And it also has the auto feature, the automation where you can set up DMs, is what it's called?
Which I hate those, so I'm so happy that
that's good. I actually was able to set up a couple. So when we were talking about tech, when we first started, I was like, not
can do it.
when I can do it, you know. And you know, I had to laugh because we were getting our show notes together, and I was like, oh look, Kelcie, you're the social media baby. And she is, because I'm still trying to figure out how to do this one kind of recording on Instagram that somebody said, oh, you should do this or whatever as a realtor. And I'm like, okay, I cannot figure it out. I don't know. I don't even know. I've spent about a week trying to figure out, and I've watched YouTube videos. You've tried to do it. So I don't know what the trick is there. That one is a tricky one. Yeah.
But you know, I don't see a lot of those, so it must be like just not very fun to use anyways.
Yeah. And it's probably boring. So anyway, it's been a journey for me because I feel like AI is a great tool. I just think it helps you think about things that you didn't really think about. So, because I found in like Kajabi, I found a broken, you're supposed to have like, okay, somebody opts in and then they get into the funnel or whatever. And I found a funnel that was broken. I was like, okay, well, no wonder it's not working.
Yeah.
When you only have, if you've been running something for 3 months and only 2 people looked at it. But I was never very good at looking at the analytics. So I think when you have more time now, sometimes I get the details and I'm off to the next thing. Oh. So yes, the last 48 hours, I just went back through and did deep dive and everything is set up. I'm so happy. And we do use Google Drive. I mean, that's another kind of platform.
Well, and then let's circle a full circle moment here. Because we talked about the podcast in the very beginning of the episode. So what we've been using is Riverside. Riverside has been amazing because for those that don't know, like before, our old setup was we had a video and then I had the microphones. I had to match the video and the audio, and it was just a pain in the butt. So now Riverside, and I love it because you can get on it and I can get on it.
Yes.
It's a website. So it's not like it's on my personal computer because I was using GarageBand before, which you didn't have access to. So then it was all of a sudden on me. And especially in our case, like mother and daughter, like I do have 2 littles. You have more time than I do majority of the days. And I just feel as business partners, that is so helpful because just like a relationship, one day you can't always give 50-50. And so it's been very, very helpful on our side. But yeah, we use Riverside and it's been amazing.
It is. And I will say it probably wasn't the easiest thing to learn.
No,
but then
it had its hiccups. But now that you're getting it.
Yeah, now you get it. And you're like, oh, so, because I know one of the things I wanted to do I called Kelcie and I was like, okay, I want to do she was busy and I really wanted to get this short out. And I was like, how do you do a layover? I don't know how to do a layover. And so what did I do? Went to Google, I found a YouTube video and I watched it. And when I watch videos like that, I'll just like watch it and stop, watch it and stop. Yeah. Oh, okay, go back. Yeah. So I think that the tech part has been, I think I have amazed myself that I kind of feel re-energized almost. It's like, oh wow, yeah, well, just learning something new, and overcoming like that, because I always say, oh, I'm not very techie, but and I still couldn't go program something.
But look at you now. I mean, you have learned more than I have in the past couple months for sure.
But it'll change. That's the thing. You can't because you were getting ready to talk about Claude. And I do like Claude. I think it's fun to go back and forth between Claude and ChatGPT because ChatGPT seems to be more on the...
It always agrees with you.
Well, again, it talk about the prompt. So it has to do with the prompt. But also, I think it's more analytical. And Claude has feelings. So it's really fun. I know it's evolving. And I think it's kind of cool because I've actually done this. I've gone through and I'll have, for example, I'll write something and then I'll upload it into ChatGPT and I'll get, I'll say analyze, review, am I on target with whatever my message is? And I'll let it go and do its thing. And then I'll do the same exact prompt into Claude and I'll see what it says. And then I combine the two and then I say, hey, I just asked ChatGPT and it said, and then I, go to Claude and say, this is what it does. But one of the coolest platforms I have found, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with it, is Gamma. Gamma. Oh my gosh. So I do a lot of public speaking. I teach at our local association and, I make presentations and it can take, if you're doing a 2-hour talk, putting a PowerPoint together like that takes time.
Exhausting.
So I can go in and I can write an outline of whatever it is I want to talk about. I drop that baby into Gamma and in seconds it gives you a polished PowerPoint, or you can use a PDF or whatever. And then I needed to create something for a class. I got kind of called in at the last minute to do a class and I was like, okay. And so I took the description and I dumped it into Gamma, and said, okay, create this and then write it and then add this, blah, blah, blah. And so it did it. But I said, but I also need a workbook to go with it. And so I told it couldn't believe it, where you spend hours and hours and hours. And I couldn't even create that in Canva. Yeah. I could not.
I know we did a 5-page one. And it took me way too long.
Yeah. Well, and just, so it's amazing so I like it, you still can be yourself and use it to help you save time. So, if you're only spending, the creative part is up here, the time that you need to spend is here, how to formulate it, what you want to speak about. But as far as like delivery in terms of what it should look like, boom.
Yeah.
I love
it.
Exactly.
So I think that's a great point to stop at. So you got
Yes.
anything else?
I don't. I know. I'm so excited. I guess I can't even believe it's been 2 years.
I know.
You
It's
know,
exciting.
and I think it's kind of cool that we're just sitting here yakking now. We used to go, what should we talk about?
I know. Here we are.
We would have
how
show
many-
notes on the side.
It's like 30, like episode 34, 35. I didn't even know we could get past 10, to be honest with you.
I know. Remember, we took a break after 20 last year because
Yeah.
we're on season 2.
Yeah.
And I think we've almost done more episodes this year, this particular
Well,
point in
again,
time.
because we pivoted.
We pivoted. All right, Kelcie. Thank you much. Thank you, everyone. And we will see you next time.
Bye.